in this pump episode. Wow, after briefly failing to hold support at 11,300, Bitcoin found support exactly at 11,100, this ascending channel line, and is so far having a very strong bounce above 11,500, trying to break the previous high from just 3 days ago. Bitcoin is absolutely inching and squinching to break above this key level, and on this chart, if Bitcoin is able to actually break back into and above this channel, the price target is absolutely ginormous. And as well, people are concerned about these gaps here, guys. However, again, I don't necessarily 100% think that they have to fill or are extremely important. The dump down to 11,100 actually did come into the middle of this gap, but it did not 100% fill the gap. Will it have to be filled? Wow, and the SPX is looking absolutely bullish. Will this be some sort of another V recovery, or will it be an upside down M recovery, also called a W recovery? And as well, guys, we're going to be talking about what I think is the more likely area of resistance that we're going to face right about here, what this target is and how far away we are from this target. Wow, welcome back, Christopher Columbus fans. That is the holiday today here in the US. Rest in peace to all the beautiful Native Americans that Christopher Columbus absolutely destroyed. What a bad man. Guys, wow, we got a lot to talk about on Bitcoin's charts today because I think we're finally in a position where we could be seeing a return to volume if the charts continue to play out very, very shortly here, how we expect them to. We've had a fairly nice breakout over the last few days with basically no volume, but I think we're coming to a position now where it will be a decisive move to whether or not we're going to get that massive increase in volatility. And guys, let's be honest, I know a lot of you, including myself, are very much looking forward to the real breakouts, right? So we have like a 200 move pump for Bitcoin every few days or something like that with this breakout. But the real breakouts are the ones where we see a massive spike in volume, you know, 2,000, $1,500, $1,000 moves in very short amounts of time, right? Those are the breakouts that we're actually looking for. And we just haven't seen one of those over the past few weeks, but I think it's becoming more and more likely that we're about to, if a few of these things on these charts play out, and specifically 2 of these charts we're going to be looking at and what has to happen on these charts to expect a massive return to volatility and a massive pumpage to the upside if that were to happen. Because again, even though we have been breaking up to the upside, out of a very technical pattern, there has not been an increase in volume, and we haven't seen the actual breakout, again, that most people look for and most people anticipate on these charts. But is it coming our way? Wow, so guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you get updated when we upload new videos, and we will be giving away a ledger as soon as we get back. So all you have to do to enter is subscribe and leave your comment below to win that nice ooey gooey USB stick. And as well, guys, for a limited time only, if you input TylerSCrypto 1 or TylerSCrypto 2 at the link below, you can receive $90 and up to an additional $390 for trading on Bybit experience, traders only, and if you want to support the channel. Guys, wow, so in fact, it does look like Bitcoin is continuing to break to the upside, and this is absolutely key. Again, this chart, out of all like 10 of the charts that I use, this has been the most accurate, and it's been the most interesting as well lately. Remember, as we talked about yesterday, holding this line is absolutely key. We failed to hold it for a brief few minutes here, came exactly down to our next target, which is right here. If you've been watching these videos for the last few weeks, you know exactly what we're talking about here. And then a strong bounce to the upside. Next overhead resistance is around that 11,700. But I think there's actually some more important charts that are indicating where the actual breakout will be for Bitcoin's price, right? And now this is considered a breakout, but it's a very, very low volume breakout. And again, you can get those low volume breakouts before actual massive breakouts. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. And actually, as I'm recording, it is continuing to break up to this target. So it'll be interesting to see as I'm recording this, if this is going to hit some of these targets. So if we switch to this chart now, again, I definitely think that around the 11,800 is where we could start to see some more significant resistance. But if that breaks, that's where we could see that massive return to volume and a massive break to Bitcoin. Because guys, it is possible with this breakout that this is kind of an inching up breakout to a bigger breakout, more volatile breakout up to the $13,000 range for Bitcoin, right? So even though the confirmed breakout of this pattern is only slightly above 12,000, like 12,300, it is possible that we can actually rocket past that if some of these very key resistances are broken. And actually, if we switch to this chart, guys, the reason I'm saying that is because of this. For the past 6 months, we've had this ascending channel here play a very big role. And if we re-enter this, I think it actually becomes increasingly likely that we can jump all the way up to about 13,000 US dollars, even about 13.1, right? So again, that's what we're testing right now. And if we see a massive increase in volume, that becomes much more likely. Also very interesting here on this daily chart, because that was the 4 hour. This is the daily. We were looking primarily on the 4 hour. But on this daily chart, guys, again, we're about to get a bullish cross as opposed to a bearish cross. And remember, we talked about this bearish cross as was happening. Not super significant. And again, most likely this won't necessarily be insanely significant. But if price action continues to the upside here and just continues actually to hold where it's at, we are going to get a bullish cross, and that will very much be a very good sign and technical signal for this to actually run a lot higher, right? So we have the 21-day crossing above the 50-day very shortly here. So again, that's very interesting. As we talked about yesterday, we want to see that volume really come in. Basically, volume has kind of still been on a downtrend. But again, around these levels, around like the 5 and 3K here on this chart is where we usually bottom out with the volume before getting a massive volume spike, similar to a lot of these other spikes in the chart. So again, I definitely anticipate one. I definitely anticipate a very big volume spike here in the short term. And guys, as well, if we switch to this weekly chart, we got our weekly close. Everything is actually looking very strong, right? We got 6 weeks hugging that 21-week moving average. And again, this will be our final test. Breaking 13K initiates massive explosion. 12.5 was our previous resistance back in the middle of August. And if we shatter that, guys, let's be honest, we could actually be heading towards all-time highs by the end of the year if things actually turn really bullish in the very, very short term. It is still possible, right? Again, I can't really say that super confidently that it 100% will happen just yet, but we're actually on track to potentially reaching all-time highs very shortly here within the next few months if we can just continue this bullish momentum, and if as well the SPX actually just stays relatively healthy. And this is another important thing we want to look at. The SPX has actually been insanely bullish over the last 2 weeks, right? After finding support at the 21 and 50-day moving average, after falling below both of those, right? Getting back above it. And so as long as this even remains somewhat bullish, that's amazing. And guys, we have less than a month till the US election, which again will play an impact. But even information coming out from Goldman Sachs, they're actually turning very bullish on this market and a swift economic recovery. Huge. So again, all of those targets still in play. I definitely think 11,800 could be some short-term resistance if we're able to break up to that level. But again, make sure to watch these lines. Everybody in T4 does have access to these charts. All of these charts are available in T4 and they're all updated as well. Wow, so if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to leave your comment below and subscribe to enter for these ledgers. And as well, if you're interested in trying to trade these markets and if you have experience and want to support the channel only, make sure to use TylerSCrypto 1 or TylerSCrypto 2 to get 90, 120, 300, and a total of up to about $400 free worth of trading on Bybit.